Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming how I did this Valentine's Day inspired makeup. Alright you guys, so first off I'm going to be using the NYX Full Coverage Won't Stop, Can't Stop foundation. I'm not in love with it. It does give a full coverage after a couple layers in concealer. Today I'm going to be using it without concealer. Once I do get the Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer, I'm going to do a full video on the review of how they work together and to see if they actually does give a full coverage. I feel like this gives more of like a medium buildable coverage. I still can see hyperpigmentation through my skin or like acne scarring. I can still see a little bit on camera. It's not as noticeable, but definitely, you know, when you're outside, you can definitely see things differently. And my son wanted to join and throw a fit. His name's Skylar. He's about 2.5, so almost 2.5. So you guys know, fellow mothers out there, about the terrible twos. So I'm just continuing on with my foundation, just layering until I get the coverage that I desire. You definitely don't have to use this much foundation, or you can use more, just depending on what you want. That's what I do like about the foundation, is it's buildable. If you are looking for a really good full coverage foundation, I would say Lancome or the Urban Decay All Nighter. Both are super amazing, probably my top picks for full coverage foundation. So next I'm going to be going in with a powder, and the powder I'm going to be using is the Kat Von D Shade Light to do my contour. If you use a powder, it's going to be more of a subtle, natural look, whereas a cream is going to create that more intense, dramatic contour. So for those who are unsure of what the difference is, that would be the main difference. And then I'm going in with a random blush that I got as a trial. I believe it's called Show Me Your Cheeks. I forget what brand it is. I'm sorry you guys. It's not a blush that really blew my mind. And then I'm going in with a loose powder from NYX just to kind of get everything set in. Next I'm going to be doing the NYX eyebrow gel. It's more of a cream, but it's a very heavy cream. And I put it on the back of my hand and then used an angle brush just to outline the tail and then working my way in. So the heavier applications would be towards the tail of my brow, just so we can have that gradient so it's shaded in. I'll be using the spoolie as well just to kind of brush everything out and make sure that it's a nice transition and nicely blended, as well as not having too boxy of a brow. My husband's in the background just kind of staring at me while I'm doing my makeup, so you know, if there's any distraction there, that would be my husband. And so I'm just continuing to work in my eyebrow and just brushing out anything that's a little too heavy. My brows, I wouldn't say I have very full brows, but I wouldn't say my brows are a bald either. I want to say they're somewhere in the middle. But for this look, I figured we'd go for more of a dramatic brow, since we're doing more of a dramatic eye. If I'm just doing foundation and mascara for the day, I generally don't do my brows. But if I do like a full eye look, I'll do my brows, so that I feel like it's missing without the brows. And this brow cream actually works really well. It's very comparable to the Aqua Brow from Makeup Forever. If you've never used that, it's super amazing and I love it. It's a 24-hour wear. Same with this one. It does last all day. I don't have to worry about it coming off. It doesn't smudge. It's sweat proof. If I put it on in the morning, it's there by the end of the night. I'm not ending up with half brow. So the next is my favorite palette. It is the Magic Mini from Juvia. I want to say it was about $36. I could be wrong. I bought it a while ago and just never reviewed it. So the first color I'm actually doing is Oh Soon. And if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong, you guys, I'm so sorry. So I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush and just patting it on. So if you sweep it on, you'll end up actually with a lot of fallout, and it won't be as pigmented as you want it to do. So I always recommend patting on your eyeshadow and not sweeping. The second color I'd be using is the Zakaya, and it's a really pretty shade of like an orangey brown. It is so gorgeous, and it's one of my favorite shades. I'm just using this right in my crease, right on the fat of my lid, where the fattiest part of my lid. I have a somewhat of a hooded lid, not too hooded though. And then going in the outer corner, working it in to create that cat eye effect, and then blending towards the center of my lid. The third color I'd be putting on top is going to be Koji, which is a bright pink and it is absolutely gorgeous. I do like the mix of the Koji and the Zakaya together. I feel like it gives more of a warmth to the pink. And then I'll be going on with the Osun at the center of the lid with my blending brush, just to give it that transition, to get it blended in very nicely. For the highlight of the brow, I'm using a matte color, and it's going to be Kessie, which is that upper right hand corner. It's a very, very pretty neutral. And as you can see, it just kind of helps blend in and create that soft cat eye effect with the eyeshadow. This eyeshadow doesn't have a lot of fallout, and it's highly pigmented, so you don't need a lot. I've used this palette maybe a total of 10 times already, and I've used barely any of it. So for my liner, I'm using the NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner. I absolutely love this. It's very comparable to the Stila liquid eyeliner. It's just going to be a different brush tip. So this is going to be a very fine brush tip, so it gets you the ability to do a very sharp cat eye. And there's my husband again, just kind of staring at me from a distance. Super awkward. So you can see I work from the inner corner to the center, and then the outer corner back to the center as well. So I start off with a straight liner, no wing, and then I will slowly work my wing out to about the length that I want it to be, and I do very light-handed. So the heavier you go on your hand, the thicker your eyeliner is gonna be. So if you want something more like an Amy Winehouse wing, you need to go heavy-handed. If you want very natural, more of like a pin-up-y liner, you need to go very light. So just remember, the harder you press, the heavier your eyeliner is gonna be. And so for the mascara, I actually do use the NYX. It's called the Skinny Mascara. I'm not a big fan of it. You'll see in a minute how thin the mascara wand on it is. It's good for more of a natural, more of like a natural lash. I wouldn't recommend it for anything glam. Or if you want some really full lashes, it's not going to do you justice. You'll see, I want to say right about here, you'll see how thin the mascara wand is. Now, I want to say I did a review in my natural look video of this mascara wand. It does well for natural looks. More of an intense look, I would use something a little bit different, but you know, we're going to go with this since I didn't have any falsies on hand. And for my lower lash line, I do use the mascara on my lower lash line as well as using Koji and Osun from the palette just to kind of line my waterline. So for the waterline, I did Koji on the outer corner, so that darker pink is going to be right on the outer corner, and a little bit on the inner corner. And then I used the Osun in the center to create almost like a halo underneath my eyes. Using a darker shade of eyeshadow right underneath your waterline is going to create a more fuller looking lash line. So if you're looking for a fuller lash line every day, you can use a darker neutral brown to create that lower lash line. So for my lipstick, I am using Lolita by Kat Von D. It is one of my favorite lipstick shades. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it does have a long wear. I do overline my lips just a little bit, just to create a more fuller lip. And then in the center of my lip, I'm going to actually use the Osun. So I use it just to create a slight highlight. I know it's looking a little crazy right now, but I do go back over with the Lolita lipstick on the outer corners to blend it in to create that ombre effect. Alright, you guys, and that is it, the finished look. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching and tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe down below. Thanks for watching.